very much, Michigan. I've been on the road running for president for thank you. So I've been on the road running for president, first a Democrat, then as an independent, and now for President Trump, 19 months. I've been to 48 states, and all the polling when I was running as a Democrat and independent showed that I was taking more votes away from Donald Trump than from President Biden or Kamala Harris. President Trump never treated me uncivilly. He was always very kind and civil toward me, and always very friendly. And he never litigated against me. The Democratic Party started suing me almost on day one. They sued me to keep me off the ballot. In 10 states, they spent $10 million. I spent $10 million trying to get on the ballot in places like Michigan. The day that I endorsed President Trump, the Democratic Party changed and began suing me to keep me on the ballot. And it's election interference. They know I'm not running for president, and they're just trying to confuse people. 2 days ago, I lost a case in the United States Supreme Court about Michigan and Wisconsin, and the DNC won that case. And they're forcing this state and Wisconsin to keep me on the ballot. When you go into the voting booths, if you haven't, I hope most of you have already, how many of you already voted? Yes. When you go into that voting booth, you're going to see my name on the ballot. I do not want you to vote for me. If you want to see me go to Washington, you better vote for Donald Trump. When I was 10 years old, my uncle was president of the United States. 6% of the people in this country, the children, had chronic disease. Today, 60% do. The autism rates have gone in 1 in 10,000. In my generation, 70-year-old men today, the autism rate is 1 in 10,000. In my children's generation, it's 1 in every 34 kids, according to the CDC. When I was a kid, the diabetes rate was 0 for juvenile diabetes. A pediatrician typically would see 1 case of diabetes in a 40 or 50-year career. Today, 1 out of every 3 children who walks through his office door is diabetic and pre-diabetic. I never heard of a peanut allergy when I was a kid. I never knew anybody who had 11 siblings, I had 70 cousins, none of them had peanut allergies. Today, there's kids with peanut allergies and food allergies and eczema in every classroom. All of these diseases we never heard before: Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, ADD, ADHD, speech delay, language delay, tics, Tourette's syndrome, narcolepsy, ASD, autism, all of these that I never heard of as a kid. And they're now epidemic in our children. When my uncle was president, we spent 0 on chronic disease in this country. There weren't even any drugs for it. Today we spend $4.3 trillion. It is existential for our country. And 77% of American kids cannot qualify for military service today because of chronic disease epidemic and obesity. The obesity rate when I was a kid was 3%. Today it's 50% of our kids. In other countries, like Japan, it's still 3%. We are the sickest country in the world, and this is the sickest generation of kids. And if you elect Kamala Harris, you're going to get more of the same. We need to bring Donald Trump to Washington and make America healthy again. I started working on this issue in 2005. And I was seeing kids. I know what a healthy kid's supposed to look like. I know what a child is supposed to look like. And our kids don't look like that anymore. They're so damaged today. And all of you, how many of you know a kid with chronic disease? Raise your hand. Most of us know people with chronic disease, and this is not normal. This is not what our children are supposed to be looking like. For 19 years, I pray every morning, without a single exception, that God would put me into position to end this chronic disease epidemic. And in August 23rd of this year, God sent me Donald J. Trump. And he told me, I want you to help me end the addiction of our country to wars and bring that $200 billion we sent to the Ukraine to lose a war, bring it back home and rebuild America. And he said he wanted to end the censorship. He wanted to end the surveillance. He wanted to end the weaponization of American enforcement agencies against the American people and against our democracy. My uncle Ted Kennedy wrote Title IX to make sure that women had an opportunity to practice sports in school. Today's Democratic Party is destroying women's sports in school by letting men compete. And Donald Trump is going to protect women, and he's going to protect women's sports. And he told me that he wants to end the chronic disease epidemic and make America healthy again. And don't you think that we deserve finally in this country a president who's going to end our addiction to foreign wars? And don't you think that we deserve a president who's going to protect the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the freedom of speech and our freedoms here in America? And don't you want a president who's going to get the corruption out of the government and the corporate control and get the 1,000 ingredients that are in our food that are illegal in Europe? And don't you want a president who's going to make America healthy again? A president who's going to make America great again? And let's get to the polls on Tuesday and elect Donald Trump in a landslide. Thank you very much.